Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is my review of Naomi episode 7. This brings in a ton of much needed answers for Naomi, which I'd asked for in my review last week. I explained that with the show, it cannot continue without giving us some breadcrumbs. Well, we got a lot of breadcrumbs in this episode, and not just for Naomi, but for us comic book fans as well. Our misunderstanding of how Zanbadu fits into all of this, and how he has a mutual respect for our hero. So let's move on. Firstly, Naomi's power potential is just frightening, guys. Right now, let's run off the checklist. On an alternative Earth, where the degradation of Earth's ozone layer exposes citizens to a new kind of radioactive energy, as a result, 29 people across the globe develop superpowers. Now, Naomi is special because she is Generation Next. She's the child of 2 of the 29. And as we all know, next generations of superheroes are mostly always more powerful than the parents. The powers Naomi possesses are very close to Superman. Flight, super strength, but she has the ability to shoot energy blasts out of her hands. It seems her powers from the comics has expanded upon the TV series, because now she has enhanced X-ray vision. Maybe this was to keep her more in line with Superman's X-ray vision too. Also, what's been speculated is that Tyler Hoechlin's Superman from Superman and Lois might make a cameo at some point on the show. But the clue is in the amount of unknown type of energy inside her body. We haven't seen her do anything yet that uses this kind of energy outside of the blasts, and to really also allow her to manipulate matter. Remember guys, in the comics, that's how she creates her costume. In the comics, the most evil of the original 29 metahumans was Zanbadu, who was about to be executed when he got his powers in the comics. And he sought to kill her as a baby, so her parents sent her to Earth Prime for her safety. Now, that's not happening here. Also, it was kind of cool to see how much of a tailored soul that he had before he got his powers. He was this hip guy that loved to go out clubbing, you know, meeting up with his friends, just chilling out at the bar, you know, and that was nice to see that. I thought the scene in the air staff was a bit silly. At one point, they were going so slow with 30 minutes to spare, you know, trying to get away from these air conditioning vaults to clean themselves or whatever they were doing. But then they'd stop and have a conversation, like they had all the time in the world, only to just make it out in time. That was really weird. And then he gives himself up to let Naomi go free. After Zanbadu rescued Naomi from Dr. Bell, he gets caught. So then she stops, turns around, and then rescues him. So I think that there was a moment in the episode which was a bit head-scratching and made no sense. And mostly because both of them were so close to escaping at the front door. So I was a bit miffed about that. They probably could have taken that out of this episode. Then there was the terrible fight scenes on the stairs, which was kind of embarrassing for a show at this level. Now, we've been treated to some amazing scenes on the Arrow series, so whoever did the fight scenes on this series needs to be let go ASAP. And bring in those guys from the Team Arrow. Because, guys, a choreographed fight is much like a dance. The cadence of the fight needs to kind of reflect the mood and the background of the event. And this means that there will be kind of fewer, smaller moves and some high visual big moves. And we didn't really get that. I mean, how on earth did they get that so wrong here? And why didn't the director in this episode just shout cut and reshoot that fight scene on the stairs? Anyway, on to better things. Zanbadu knows more than Naomi could ever have imagined. And not just her, but we all are surprised with the revelations that he's here to protect her and has watched over her throughout her entire childhood. Still, those are only visions, so I just want to peg you guys back a little bit. There's still something at the back of my mind that made me think that Zanbadu could be manipulating those past events, allowing Naomi to see what he can access through his memories. If Zanbadu was lying to us or misleading Naomi, that would be a devastating reveal for the future series. Even Akira's appearance was questionable. She labels Zanbadu as the bad guy. It's so hard to kind of trust anybody at this stage because we barely know who Akira is. So the new mystery is the 29. On his homeworld, who were given the superpowers, what happened to them? Who betrayed them? And why are they hunting Naomi? At least Naomi learnt more about her history and the dangers now begins to kind of take a center stage. This feels like progression, guys. This is what I wanted from the show. And we're finally peeling back the layers of the most mysterious character in this series, Zanbadu. It all comes a full circle for us, because we got a glimpse into his backstory, and I hope more flashbacks are on the agenda moving forward. Zanbadu preaches about thinking for yourself, not trusting what people tell you at face value. Maybe he's telling Naomi not to trust him. Maybe that's what he's kind of really saying. Also, I wanted to see more of Earth 29. The city looks fascinating, doesn't it? Those 2 moons and the lush plant life was a delight to see, but I wanted to see more. And I don't think we're going to see that because, as we know, it's kind of a dystopian world now. It's a shadow of what its former self used to be. So the villain for now isn't Zanbadu, but the name brought forward that was talked about was Brutus. Brutus. I mean, that's as cheesy as villain name as you can get. It reminded me of Popeye. Brutus. How can you do Brutus? Anyway, listen. Outside of the fact that he's hunting everybody, including the 29, I think we need to see what kind of threat level he is. After all, we've never seen him. So why should we care? Maybe he's the one that killed Dee's girlfriend Q. So in this episode, guys, I give it a positive 7.5 out of 10. Last 2 episodes have offered up some much needed world building, and Naomi is coming into her own. But can we please have better directors to give us more believable fight scenes? And please stop having Naomi crying on almost every scene in this episode. You know, she's the star of the show. If you look at someone like Stargirl, which I compare this series a lot to, by the way, Stargirl is she's just has a cannon knack of, you just kind of love her as a character. And Naomi has some of that, but there's some times where I think she fades out. And of course, the downsides on this episode was Naomi and Zanbadu still found plenty of time to take breaks and get in some flashbacks while they were escaping in the tunnels. But onto a lighter note, Dee and Annabelle make a surprisingly hilarious pair, so more of that please. And we all know Naomi is unique, but just how special is she? Naomi came by her powers by blood, and we need to find out what that actually means. The only theory that I have right now, guys, is that it will be Ikera who ended up selling out the 29 and then pinned it on Zanbadu for whatever reason, we don't know. Could it be that she's the one who really wants to capture Naomi? Not sure. And we don't know what's happened to Dr. Bell as well. Dr. Bell was supposedly hurt in an explosion. I think she'll show up again in the latter part of the series. I kind of like where they're going with her, and I hope that we see more of her as well. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Peace out, guys.